Linda Burney, Minister for Indigenous Australians, joins me on the desk. So nice to see you. You know what? You're almost there.
Almost there, and thank you so much for having me here tonight, and it's great to meet you.
Do you think you've run a good campaign?
I think we've run a great campaign. I am so inspired by the thousands of volunteers. Many of them have never been in a campaign before, and just seeing the dedication, meeting so many Australians that are clear about what they're going to do, but also talking to a number of Australians who are unsure or who were going to be no voters. I was in Manly a few weeks ago, and I met a man. He would have been in his 60s. He said, "Don't give me that. I'm not going to vote yes. I'm voting no." And I sat down and had a really good talk with him, and he gave me a big cuddle, got a photo together, and said, "You've convinced me. I'm going to vote yes," because this is about, bringing this country together. This is about making Australia a much better place, a great place. We are a great place now, but even greater. It's about recognising something that we all should be so proud of, a history of 65,000 years. And Ali, that's your history. That's my history. And it's a history of the people watching tonight.
And I think you have many people on board when it comes to recognition, but the voice is a sticking point, and the lack of detail has been a major criticism. How much has that seriously hurt the Yes campaign?
The voice is the vehicle for the recognition, and what the voice will do is provide a vehicle where Aboriginal people from local communities that know what the issues are, that know what the solutions are, can have a direct say, make representations to government and to Parliament about issues that directly affect Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people.
But you would understand, Minister, then a lot of the questions that come up around that, and obviously the detail will come in the legislation when it's drafted. But should you have had that ready too, so that when people ask, who will be at that table? How long will they be elected for? What will it actually do? You would have been able to answer them. And for many people, these are questions they need answered before they can write yes.
Well, the simple fact is that this is about the recognition of the whole history of Australia. It's about listening to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. And most importantly, and I know this is really important to viewers tonight, getting better outcomes for Aboriginal people. There's one thing that everyone agrees with, and that is that the outcomes for Aboriginal people in this country are not good enough. It is not right that you and I have a life expectancy that's different. It's not right that suicide rates are twice as high. It's not right that babies are not born at a healthy birth weight, and those things have to change in this country. And I know that people watching tonight want to see better outcomes and money spent in a better way.
I'm just not sure you've convinced everyone that the voice is the right way of doing that. And what is sad to see, I think that the referendum has created, kind of a hell of a mess. It's been a slanging match, and I know people don't like that. Is there more division now than ever before?
Do you know, I think that when people read the question and realise that it's simple, it's not going to affect in any way people watching us tonight, but it will make us a better unified country with better outcomes for Aboriginal people.
But respectfully, that's been said for 6 weeks
about.
now. And I'm sorry for interrupting, but respectfully, that for 6 weeks we've been hearing that. So where is the disconnect where that's not resonating with people? If you're looking at the polls, and at the moment the polls are overwhelmingly leaning no.
Well, I am remaining incredibly optimistic, and I think that Australian people are good people. I think people understand that something has to change, and we will wait and see what happens on Saturday. I have every faith in the Australian people, and I know that people want better outcomes. What you want for your children is the same as what Aboriginal people want for their children: to be safe, to be healthy, to have a good education and chances in life. And that's what this is about.
And because all of those things are so important, should you have fought harder for bipartisan support before pressing ahead?
The Prime Minister met with the Leader of the Opposition, Mr Dutton, no less than 7 times in terms of seeking bipartisan support. And, you know, this was a bipartisan issue for a very long time. It was Mr Dutton that decided to make this divisive. He took the decision to break that bipartisanship, and I think that's a great shame. I cannot for the life of me, Ali, understand how better outcomes for Aboriginal people, how uniting this country is divisive. It is not divisive. It makes us a stronger, more united country than ever before.
And here's the thing, I mean, you're so passionate that this will make a difference and we have to do it. And then you have Jacinta Price from the no side who is just as passionate that this won't work. So who do we believe?
I think it is important that Australians look at the question, realise what they're going to be voting on in just 2 days' time, recognition and better outcomes. It is not about anything else except those 2 things. And I have great faith in the Australian people. This is not going to affect anyone's lives, but it will mean great things for our country and better outcomes for Aboriginal people.
We have 11 Indigenous parliamentarians in Canberra. You're the minister. Shouldn't you all be the voice?
There are 11 Aboriginal people in Canberra, and how fabulous is that? All different parties in the Senate and in the House of Representatives. But I'll give you a good example. Ken Wyatt, who's a very dear friend of mine, was the first Aboriginal person to be the Minister for Aboriginal Affairs in Australia, and he got voted out at the last election. What we're talking about with The Voice is an independent body enshrined in the Constitution that will provide advice. And I stress that so strongly, that will provide advice to the Parliament on issues that affect Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. There is nothing to lose from voting yes in this referendum.
I can't think of many who wouldn't want the best for our First Nations people, but do you think your government, the Prime Minister, has been too distracted by this and put other important issues on the back burner, like how much everything costs and crime, hospitals?
I have known the Prime Minister for probably 30 or 40 years, and I am part of the Cabinet. And I can assure everyone watching tonight that this has not been a distraction. The Prime Minister is flying out this very week to the US, and the cost of living, obviously, is something that is the primary concern of the government. The referendum for the Prime Minister and for the government and for many people right across the Parliament is incredibly important. And what I would say is that this will mean that money is better spent in Aboriginal affairs. This will mean a difference for Aboriginal people and for the rest of the country. I want you all to imagine waking up on the 15th and feeling a little bit better about yourself and the place that we share.
That's if the vote is yes. If it's no, the Prime Minister has said that's the end. How do you just walk away from recognition in the Constitution when it is something you're so passionate about and the one thing many from both sides, both camps, want and agree on?
The Prime Minister and I think it's the right thing to do, and people like Noel Pearson have endorsed the position that we will not legislate if the Australian people say no. But that's not the end of Aboriginal affairs. You know, I'm the minister in this country, and I can assure you I have a very full inbox. Things like reforming the community development program, things like making sure that we deliver on the Central Australian Plan. These things are not going to go away, and they will continue. But I can tell you this, Ali, having a voice, having people from right across this country, including remote and regional Australia, providing advice on what works is a very good thing for all of us.
Doesn't a no vote come back on you, though? You were so dogged in your government. You were so dogged in combining recognition and the voice, which is the bit that people don't understand, and the reason why many are voting no.
Recognition and voice, and I'm really pleased you've raised that. This request has not come from politicians. This request has come from Aboriginal people that went through a very long process that culminated in 2017 at Uluru. It is a gracious request. It is a modest request, and we have responded to what Aboriginal people have asked for.
Do you acknowledge it's not looking great for the Yes camp at this point?
I remain optimistic, and I will talk to as many people as possible over the next 48 hours, and let's see what the end result is on Saturday night.
Well, we'll know Saturday, won't we? And I know that you really care and believe in this.
I do.
And we thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, and vote yes, everyone.